Hello,
Cheers,
everybody.
Bob.
Hello, welcome to the Super 16 game reveal. I'm Fiesel, and I'm joined with my co-host here, the MotherBrain86.
Hello. And I'm the Mother86. Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. Well, so what the Super 16 race is, if you haven't seen it before, it is a race of 16 Super Nintendo games raced back to back. We've been doing it for many years now. This is year number 7, or race number 7. I think it's been 7 years. And
About so, yeah.
yeah, about that. So race number 7 we're up to now. And what we do is we pick 16 Super Nintendo games. Sometimes it's the full game if it's a short game, but usually it's a shorter goal, something that can be done in, a fair amount of time. We want the whole race to take about, say 3.5 hours for the top players. So it's going to be fairly substantial. Players will have 2 months. Actually, they'll have a little more than that this time around. They'll have 9 weeks to learn the games. The race itself happens June 24th at 12 p.m. Eastern. That is noon Eastern time, or 6 p.m. Central European time. It will be streamed right here on this channel, twitch.tv/SpeedGaming. You can go to our website, speedgaming.org/super16, and there, as soon as this reveal is over, all of the games and goals will be posted, so you can just use that as a reference. Just some general rules about how this works. To join the race, all you have to do is show up on the day of the race and join the race room. It'll be at racetime.gg. Just go on racetime.gg, link it up to your Twitch account so that it can tell whether you're streaming or not, and then just join the Super 16 race room. Also, I recommend joining our Discord server. Link should be, hopefully by now, in the actual thing. There we go. It's linked in that chat command there. Join the Super 16 Discord server. We've got a channel in there, and you're definitely going to want to do this because you'll want to communicate with other players who are working and learning these games, communicate with us as we clarify rules and post resources. Basically, I'll just keep everyone informed what's going on. On the actual day of the race, we'll post a link to the race room in there so that people know how to get to it if they don't want to just have to navigate through the Racetime site to get there. And also, quite importantly, we will have various tutorials. So people will post information that they've learned. Often the experts in these games will come forward and say, hey, here's my tutorial. I can teach you all how to play this game. That'll be very important if you are someone who is a high-level player in one of these games and you want to contribute your knowledge, or if you have any resources that were helpful to you, please come into the Discord, post them so that people can see them, and we will put them in the resources section so that all the players can find them. You can also send them to me directly. Either way, but just get that to us, and we will put all those resources together so that people learning will have everything that they need to be able to learn these games. And oftentimes what happens is people will get really good at these games, during this practice process and write up their tutorial. And so we'll probably see some new tutorials pop up as well. So basically any information that'll help people along, pass it along to us. It is very helpful to all the players. So the general rules here: the games must be completed in the order that is shown. Once the game list is shown, you have to complete those games in that order. You start from a new game, basically from the title screen in most cases. We'll list actual starting points and end points of the timing a little bit later, once we've had a chance to really look through it and be sure that we're certain about it. But that should come up within the next couple of days. Yeah. And you can use any kind of play method that you want: emulator, flash cart, cartridges. I think we've had a few people run them on a SNES Mini, something like that. As long as it,
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, it happens. As long as it is a good enough, correct enough version of it that you would be able to submit it to a leaderboard or something like that. So some communities have certain prohibitions against certain emulators for certain games, or against whatever the SNES Mini in certain cases. It kind of depends on what it is. And so we do have to be respectful of those rules, because we want to be kind of in step with the rest of the speedrunning community as far as these games go and what we're doing here. For the most part, we recommend using the U version of the game, although there are some exceptions which we will get to when we get to those games for other versions that you could use. If you think there's a really strong case to be made for why a different version of the game should be used, come into Discord and we'll talk about it and see if it actually makes sense. Unless specified otherwise, you're going to use the default difficulty level. Unless the goal specifies otherwise, you use the default difficulty, when you boot it up, whatever difficulty is selected, that's what you're using. Unless we say otherwise in there. In general, we're allowing all glitches, unless there's some like super game-breaking thing that we don't want people to do. And if that's the case, we will specify in the goal. If you go to speedgaming.org/super16, we'll write there below each game if there's any restrictions like that or a certain glitch that can't be used. In general, you cannot use codes unless there is one that we specifically decide to allow. Sometimes we'll allow continue codes or extra lives codes, as long as it doesn't also enable like other stuff that makes the game too easy. But generally we will allow codes like that, but it's on a case-by-case basis, and that will have to be discussed and added to rules clarifications if there's any uncertainty about that. And lastly, in between each game, we have a 45-second pause, and this is to allow people who need to swap cartridges or, adjust their controls, because you can go into the settings and change your controls and things like that. You might have to do that on a game-by-game basis. So you get 45 seconds in between each game. So there's a mandatory 45 seconds. You should, build that timing right into your splits. Maybe some people make an extra split in between each game for the 45 seconds. But we have a new rule this year. That after game number 8, instead of 45 seconds, it's going to be 120 seconds. So you have a 2-minute break after game 8. And this takes the place of the 45-second time. So instead of 45 seconds, you wait 120 seconds just after game number 8. And that's to allow people to get up, stretch their legs, use the bathroom, pet a dog, whatever you want to do at that time. It's up to you.
The old man break.
Yeah, the old man break, sure. The old woman break, or the dog that needs attention break, whatever you want to call it. Take care of that after game number 8. And so hopefully that makes things a little bit easier for people. You don't have to white knuckle it the whole time. That's great. But without further ado, let us get into the games. So, let me just turn this music down here. And are you ready, co-commentator?
Co-commentator. Thank you. Yes, I'm ready.
All right, and let's go.
All right, awesome.
What is this first game? What is it going to be?
Yeah.
Oh, it says it right there.
Yep. It's kind of hard to miss.
Our first game is... Oh my gosh, I messed up everything here. Our first game is Wild Guns. The goal for this is to reach the second bonus. So you're playing a fairly substantial amount of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, Wild Guns is just a very good arcade shooter that is, like in my opinion, a classic, and the graphics for the time. I mean, obviously it's kind of late in the library. Just looks phenomenal, and the gameplay is super solid. It can get a little challenging, but it's not too hard to pick up. And to start with an arcade game as cool as this game is, I think it's a really solid start for this game, for this list. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot of action. It's a pretty fun game. I think it's a good start. And this is actually a rather long goal for a first game. We often put the shorter ones earlier on, but this should take you maybe about 15 minutes to do. So it's going to be a fairly long one, but longer than average.
Yeah, it was about 50 minutes or so, correct?
No, yeah, about 15 minutes.
And yeah, I mean, but for top runners, it won't be too hard. This is also, this is going to be an easy difficulty, or is it?
This will be the default, whatever the default difficulty level is. So yeah, you can leave that.
So it should be about 15 minutes or so for the good runners here. And I imagine that many people will get that, and to get to bonus number 2. And yeah, it's very cool. There's a lot of bosses in this game too. You can pick any character you want, obviously. Whichever floats your boat. They all have their own unique quirks. There's of course the cool power-ups you can grab, and yeah, as this demonstration shows, it's just really solid, fast action arcade gameplay. Not really much to say about it, and it's a very good game.
Yeah, pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Look out! Yeah, this is fun. This will be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, what I really like about this game is just the amount of extra weapons you can get all over the place. They really can change up if you go faster or slower. So it's pretty solid. But we're already off to the next one.
All right, next game. Here we go. What's it gonna be? Could be nothing. Could just be the end. All right, we know it's licensed by Nintendo.
License, don't worry.
EA, Gremlin Interactive.
That could be worrisome sometimes.
Could be. Hello there. Oh.
Hey.
Oh. It's Jungle Strike.
It is. Just one of the Strike games.
Yep. So yeah, Jungle Strike, Desert Strike, and Urban Strike. Trio of games that I believe saw both the SNES and Genesis. I think they all are, they're kings of the of the 16-bit era.
Yeah, very much so.
This is these are fun series. I love these games. And this is like, at first I think this is going to be hard for people. Like, this is one where I think like just getting control of the helicopter and like understanding how to how to move and not be bad. This is it's going to be kind of tricky.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a floaty control, I would say.
Yeah.
I did beat Desert Strike. I have not played Jungle Strike, but I know it's very similar.
Yeah.
You have your menu that actually really shows easily where you need to go for your next object. You just follow those orders basically, and you can't go wrong. It's just like the matter of trying to avoid the shots. Making sure to where to pick up your armor and don't explode like what just happened here in the demo. Just maintaining your route to see like where should I pick up my weapons, where should I pick up my shield next, to make it as fast and efficient as possible to move on, which in this case is only 2 levels. Because the missions can get quite long for one mission.
Right, yeah, because we're beating level 2, but each level has multiple missions to it, and yeah, the game will just tell you, next you're going to blow up these things, next you're going to pick up this guy, next you're going to deliver that thing, The first level is... Go ahead.
No, right there you saw like the briefing of like the map and exactly the blinking things will be what you need to take, so it's very easy.
Yep. Getting your little mission overview. And yeah, the first level is pretty tame. I think it's a good introduction, and then the second level is a bit more. It's kind of getting more into what the gameplay is usually is mostly like. Yeah, this first level's got like a long escort mission that takes up like half of it, so it will definitely give you a chance to sort of ramp up. But all right, what is our next game here? What is our next game? I don't even remember.
Already moving.
Oh, here it is.
It's at the top of the screen. Don't look. Okay.
Don't look at the top of the screen. Don't look. It's Sunsoft.
That's a good sign.
Iguana.
It's
a cool looking iguana. Good sign. Who's this guy? Is that Billy Lee? I don't know. It's Bimmy.
Sure.
It's Bimmy and Jimmy. Oh wait.
Bimmy and Jimmy. Uh-oh.
Urgent Zero. The Kamikaze Squirrel is our third game.
Vegas Stakes? I don't think this is Vegas Stakes, but sure. It is Zero, the Kamikaze Squirrel.
There we go.
So yeah, this game I really did not know anything about until we, looked up for a game. And this game is quite fun. It goes really fast.
Yeah, it is pretty. The movement in it is interesting. The way you kind of like. You sort like you don't really fly, you kind of fly. You're flying squirrel, so you're not like a bird, but you also are not a land creature either. So it is kind of an interesting. Like the movement is very like dive and soar and do these big floaty jumps. It actually is pretty kind of fun. It's pretty fun, to do the speedrun movement on it.
Yeah, because you can see right here, just by a little bit of gameplay, you see it goes really fast.
Yeah.
It's very, very much about, memorization of exactly where the enemies are, where to land or where to jump. You don't really have to collect the items, just go to the end as fast as you can. It's not like a gem collector, and, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I think this is good. And the goal that we're doing here is Tunnels 2, so it's maybe about half the game. Maybe a little slightly more than... No, it's about half the game. It's like it goes right up to like where the auto scrollers start, so it's right before the first the first big auto scroller. So seemed like the right place to stop if we weren't going to do full game.
Yeah, very much so. I don't recall, were there like unlimited continues in this, or...
I cannot remember. I don't remember. This is a long time ago that I was seriously working on this game, and yeah, so
okay.
Don't remember.
But in any case, you have a decent amount of lives. You can get hit pretty much a lot of times. Yeah, we have to look into if it's unlimited or limited. I would imagine it's unlimited. Or it has passwords, that's what happens usually with these kind of games. But there we go. That's Zero the Kamikaze Cruel.
What do we think next? Game number 3. It's or game number 4. It's a Taito game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got Bob in it. It's got Bob in it.
Bob.
It's Bust a Move, aka Puzzle Bobble.
Yeah, or Puzzle Bobble for Japanese version.
From the beginning. And we'll do round 25. That means up to and including round 25. So you beat 1, you beat everything between, and you beat 25. So you beat 25 rounds of this. Pretty simple.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, pretty simple. Yeah, and this game, just like even nowadays, I think there's still copies, not specifically like exactly this copy, but games released that are this game basically. And I think it's an all-time classic. I really always enjoy playing these kind of games. You have Bob and Bob in it, and it's your simple, very straightforward, but very cool if you get like nice chains, a puzzle game. But in this case, it's not about the chains, but it's going fast.
Yep, and I believe it is okay to play either Puzzle Bobble or Bust a Move. I need to look into this, but I think the plan is we're going to let people use either version of it.
Yeah. The only difference is, you have Japanese text, obviously, which doesn't make it much faster. I don't think it doesn't even change anything. And, there's way more submitted runs for the Japanese version than this version. And that's the only difference.
Yeah, it may make a difference if you're looking to submit your time to a leaderboard. It might make a difference what version. But I think for this race, we're going to allow people to use either version of the game.
Yeah. You good at this game? You promise? That's all right. We believe you. You have limited credits, as you can see, but I think if you learn how to play this, it wouldn't be that hard. And with 25 rounds, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I've played a number of knockoffs of this game. There's so many people made versions of this.
Yeah, for whatever reason. But I guess, it's a good game, so... There is the first puzzle game off this list. And maybe the last one.
Maybe the last one. Maybe they're all puzzle games from here on.
Yeah, the remaining ones. Will he beat the level? Here we go. Yes, he did. All right.
Next game, what could it be? I don't even remember the order that we put these in off the top of my head, so... Okay. I think I have some idea what this game is. I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I got
a hunch. It's Capcom.
Rayo already knew. Because that is correct. It is Mega Man X2. This game is all yours, Pizza.
Oh yeah, Mega Man X2. So yeah, this game, I don't know if you've heard of this, but this fella named Mega Man has to fight a bunch of robots called Mavericks. And what happens after that, I don't know, because the goal for this is going to be just 8 Mavericks.
Yeah.
So you don't get to see the completion of the plot. You don't know what happens after the Mavericks are dead.
No, so just make sure to play it after the race because it's just a really good game to do that.
Yeah, so this is I guess this is a game where, I mean, this has to go on the list. We can't pass by this game and consider it and then not put it on the list because, you know, this is one of the most well-known Super Nintendo games. You know, it's got to be on there. And I feel like most people will have played this, and I bet we're going to have a lot of people who have already even tried to speedrun it. But this is certainly a game where there's plenty of resources available and plenty of people who know how to play this, so there's lots of strats. We were originally thinking we might just do like 4 Mavericks and let people like choose what 4 do they think are the fastest and, you know, do a little bit of routing. But honestly, I think this game is so big that we really just have to go the whole way on it, or at least the whole 8 Maverick way on it. And
I agree. And
yeah.
To be honest, I haven't played through this game yet, so I think this is also a good opportunity for me to just, you know, have fun with it and see how far I can get. Probably beat it, hopefully. And yeah, this game just needs to be shown off as much as it can because it is a very solid game. I played finally a little bit more than usual, and yeah, this game is awesome. It's really high technical, especially high level speed game. You know, I've seen it on HDQs, ESAs, I believe as well. Speed run of this is amazing to see, and those runners are just crazy because I'm trying that too, and I can't do that. It's just, you know, it's a very hard, technical, very cool, great looking speed game. That's what I think about this.
Yeah, the top players could probably do this goal in just under 20 minutes, but I imagine that for most people, you're going to be looking at, you know, you're going to be looking in the 20s. So this will be one of the longer games, one of the longer goals on this list. All right, no spoilers on this boss fight. We're moving on. Next game, Psychnosis. Just moving on. DMA design. What could this be? This could be any game. Oh gosh.
Gotta spoil it right there.
Did we actually? We're gonna make people speedrun Lemmings 2?
Yeah, it's a Psychnosis game, of course.
Oh, okay.
Destruction Derby 2.
Want to make sure this wasn't a mistake. Did we give them the wrong list to play here?
Maybe you're right. Wait a second. But let me just check this up. I think we were playing the wrong video.
I might be on the wrong video. Okay, Lemmings 2. No. So this is probably one of the most unconventional speedruns we've had on Super 16. I mean, I say that, but if I were to look back through the list, I'm sure we'd put some other weird ones in here. But here we go. The choice is any 2 worlds. Right, that's what we decided.
Yeah, I played through this game actually. Like, I don't know, 5 years ago, but I played the Genesis version, which is identical. And you can actually beat every stage just with 1 lemming, for the most part. As long as you have 1 lemming that finishes the stage, it's not as like in a PC DOS game, it's terrible. You have to like certain amount of percentage of lemmings you need to save. And I believe in this game, as long as you have 1 lemming, you beat it. You get the stage, so it's not too bad.
Blow them all up. Get that 3rd place. Yep. So you pick any 2 worlds that you like. I think there's like 9 worlds or something like that, somewhere around there. But
yeah,
some are faster than others.
You know, yeah, just pick the ones you like. I think Classic was a quite fast one. The other one, I don't know, but you know, Classic. I think everybody would know the Classic. You know, it's just those. You start with the simple kind of, you know, level that everybody knows. And the fun thing is, as you can see right here, that's demonstrated, every world that you pick has its own quirks and gimmicks. So not all the lemmings will have the same powers throughout whatever world you pick. So, you know, if you're very good at using the fan that he was using right there, then, you know, this might be the world for you to go for and try to get good in that. Or if you're just good at the classic ones, then, you know, try to just use only the classics. And that's a little bit how the Lemmings 2 is built. Every tribe has its own power-ups.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting game.
It is. I thought it was a good game. I gave it like a 9 out of 10. I liked it.
9 out of 10. There you have it. Look at that jetpack. How can you not like a game with a jetpack? Your cursor turns into a fidget spinner. Come on.
I don't know if that's still here. It's 2023. I don't know if fidget spinners.
No more fidget spinners. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I'm not going to do a dab. All right, next one.
Here you go. There it is, right there on the screen. Our next game is a racing game. It's Top Gear 3000.
Yes. Yeah, racing game, had to be in there. Top Gear, very popular, specifically in Brazil, but just well known. And these are really good racing games. These are really fun, fast, sort of over the top, but still very cool racing games. We all know that Yogi loves racing games, so we had to put that in.
You were in the race. Good luck. Race is on.
Yeah, Top Gear in space, basically.
In space. One player full.
Yeah, in this case,
Okay.
the goal would be beat Systems of Smart. That's about, what is it, like 4 or 5 races, I think? Shouldn't take too long. Yeah.
Shouldn't be. It should be about
10 minutes or so.
Yeah, 10 minutes, I think, at most. Like, yeah, we're looking. The world record time looks like 7.5 minutes. And with any of these goals that we list here, if we just say beat blah blah blah, you have to beat everything up to and including that. So from the start of the game up to and including the thing that we say to beat.
So yeah, there it is. That's Top Gear 3000. You just drive in a circle, and you have to. Is it like you have to finish top 3? I believe. This isn't too hard.
Is that the case? Yeah. There is a cutoff.
Yeah.
And you have to get the cutoff even on the last level of the goal. You can't just tank the last level. Like you have to actually beat it such that you would be able to advance. Which is, we've had that rule for other racing games. You gotta.
Yeah, you're gonna just be DNF and be like, there you go, I'm done.
There you go, I finished the level, but no.
Yeah. Gotta beat him. Yeah, it's a wide angle car.
It's a very flat car. It's a future car.
That's how the future is gonna look like.
Future cars.
There you go, already final lap of the first track. Goes by pretty fast, and it controls really well actually. For just sometimes the race games a little slippery here and there, like Rat Racer for the NES, very slippery. This one, it's quite smooth.
Just turn right. The route in this level is turn right. And then turn right.
Reverse NASCAR. It's crazy.
Phew. Fast. That was so fast.
So fast.
Okay. Next game. What will it be?
Mm-hmm.
What will it be? Yes. I'm waiting. Uh-oh.
Oh, I can half read that. Boom, and there goes Earth.
We do have the answer in the chat. Someone has already identified this game. I'm actually not sure where it says it in this sequence here, but...
The title screen shows it, eventually.
Hopefully.
But yes, it is Hagane, the Final Conflict.
It is Hagane, the Final Conflict. There you go.
Very, very, very cool. It's a very cool looking game with very complex controls.
Yes.
But very awesome.
And now this is...
Did you play this before, Friso? Oh,
yes.
go ahead.
This is... Yeah, okay, there we go. Right. Yeah. So this is a very, very complex... The controls are... There's a lot to it. There's this complex movement. There's a lot you can do in this game. I think this one will probably have a bit of a learning curve for people. We're going to beat up to and including World 4, so basically beat the first 4 worlds. And as you can see, it's a side-scrolling hack and slash platformer, I guess you'd say. And it's I don't know, it's just got good. It's got kind of a good, cool aesthetic. It's just like this looks like peak Super Nintendo to me. This, like when I imagine like what do Super Nintendo graphics look like with like shining cityscapes scrolling in multiple planes on the background. You know, a big spaceship comes flying in the foreground and you have to shoot the hatches on it as guys jump out of it. Like this is absolutely like peak Super Nintendo right here.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece. I do remember that the speedrun does do a lot of backflips to go fast, like basically everywhere. So be sure to look in that, because that seems to be like the fastest way to move around, so you don't really have to kill as much. But, you know, if you want to play a little safer, if you kill more enemies, you get way more power-ups. So that's, you know, the give and take.
Yeah. And look at that strut. That's a pretty good hero strut.
Yeah. But this game is just, it's super cool. Like seriously, it's hard. It's a hard game. Don't get that. It's just a hard game, but it's really good. And once you master this or learn this, it feels really good.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, you get power-ups everywhere. Enemies explode. We just said, like spaceships coming in, whatever is coming in. Things are moving. You know, you get your, you know, you get excited about when you play this, and that's why it's definitely in the list.
Yeah, Contra with the sword. There you go. It does really look like Contra to me. All right, next game. Don't look at the top of the screen. Don't look. All right, next game it's LJN. This next game is an LJN game, so you know it's going to be good.
Beam software.
Beam software.
Quality, right?
It's getting so good. What's it going to be? True. Lies. I love these licensed games, these movie-based Super Nintendo games. This is just some of the best stuff in the 16-bit era came from action movies. Yeah. I say best in sarcastic quotes. No, this is like, this looks okay. So at first you're like, oh, this is going to be great. Then you look at it and you're like, oh no, what am I doing? Like, what is this? What do I have to do? But then when you actually play it, this is fun as heck. This game is really fun to play. I like rolling around. It starts to get pretty like the next section when you're like jumping down the mountain and on the ski slope and guys in helicopters are throwing bombs at you. It gets pretty intense.
Yeah, and also there's a little bit of a gore level in this game too. There's a lot of for normally, like, you know, with a licensed game, specifically also with LGN, usually targeted for kids, a Nintendo game, this is blood in here, and you shoot bosses right there, like with your gun, and they die. It's like, wow, that's okay, Nintendo, that's okay. So
I mean,
other than that, what you said,
it must be,
and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
But yeah, so it starts out with this kind of like, I guess Zombies Ate My Neighbors, or maybe like a 16-bit Mission Impossible or something like that. Or like
or Jurassic Park. Yeah.
I'm thinking of, or like Die Hard, kind of. This is the way it looks. And yeah, I mean that's basically what it is, but goes through various other kinds of map types besides just, you know, old mansions full of guys with guns.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like just Die Hard.
Yeah.
And then the goal for this one would be beat stage 4. So it's like almost halfway, I think.
I think that's about right.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that would be about, say, 12 minutes for people. I mean, I think the top players will probably be, you know, under 12 minutes on this.
Pretty much so.
You have to be careful not to shoot civilians. Once you shoot, I think, the third one, you lose the mission. But the game is pretty... It does have a lot of health and things like that you can use for survivability. Just don't shoot the civilians, that's all.
Yeah, but please don't shoot the civilians. Yeah?
I like all these people just calmly walking around like, oh, I guess I'm kind of in the way, aren't I? All right, Hudson Soft, 1994. Now this could be anything, right? What would be? Oh, it's Super Adventure Island 2. Oh my gosh.
Number 2.
Number 2. Adventure File 1. File this under
I mean,
adventure. Famous Master Higgins.
I think is back in it again. And this is basically because of, I think, Adventure Island 4, which is only Famicom, released in Japan. They sort of like followed along with like RPG kind of style game, which this is also sort of is, but it's more like a platformer game in the first place. And it's very good.
Yeah, it is interesting how these games, I mean, they're kind of coming from the NES, the NES Adventure Island, which are just straight up side-scrolling platformer games, and trying to add some more like adventure game elements to it. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting. This is, you know, sort of in the middle of the SNES series, so it has, you know, some of the traits that you'll see later on already. But
Yes. Some random encounters too.
yeah, it's got random encounters. It's like the Zelda 2 overworld here.
Yeah, actually. There you go. Go to Poco Poco Island because that guy told you to go there, and then you beat that one. And then eventually you go to Haya Haya, I think is his name. And that will be the goal for Super Adventure Island 2. You beat Haya Haya. It shouldn't take too long. I think that will be like around 13, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, let's see, what was our estimates? Yeah, this should be, I think about 13 minutes. It'll be less for people who really grind this out. I think they can get it down lower than that, but yeah, this will be about an average length game for this, or average length goal for this race.
Yeah.
It's got vines
And
to climb.
there-
Go ahead.
And there are many speedrunners that have this game, so finding, you know, any resources on this should also be pretty easily accessible. But then again, if there are people that are already familiar with the games, this game, be sure to post it in the Discord or notify, in this case, Diesel, and we'll make sure that it gets on the Discord too.
Yeah, that's right. If anyone who knows any of these games really well and wants to make a tutorial or has already made a tutorial, either a video or like a written tutorial, or like sometimes pictures that show you like the visual cues that you want to use, anything like that you think would be useful resources, either send them to me or come on into our Discord and post that stuff, because it'd be very helpful to the runners. What do we have next? Warner Brothers Entertainment, Acclaim Entertainment. Okay, I'm interested. I'm interested already.
Alexandria.
To make a really bad tutorial, go ahead. Oh, it's Demolition Man. It's Denunciation Man. Demolition
No
Man.
violence in the future. Right?
The goal is to use the 2 seashells.
Oh, I see.
Or wait, do I have the wrong movie?
I have to think there for a little bit.
3 seashells. Oh, I'm so sorry. See, that's why I can never get it right.
Ah, that's what it...
It's motion sickness, man. Now, all right. So this, you can see, this is, you know, a platformer. Obviously, one where you can climb, one where you can shoot. But it is, I don't know, pretty action packed. I think this is a pretty action dense speedrun. I think people will very much enjoy this.
I think so too, and I feel like this game could be broken. I'm not so sure, but it feels like it. Like one of those games, you know, you're like, maybe something is wrong with it. So you can maybe, you know, find something new, that would be nice. And this is also actually the first game that is beat the game. This is the full game.
Full game. And calm is the difficulty level, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
Which is the easiest setting.
So, unlike most of these games where you're playing on the default difficulty, the difficulty that comes up when you just boot the game up cold, on this one you can actually select calm difficulty.
Yes.
Calm. Clam difficulty. Seashell difficulty.
Clam. Oh, right. That's what it was. I have to adjust that. That's okay. Now, a runtime for this would be around, let me see here. The world record is 9 minutes and 28 seconds. So around 12 minutes is probably a good average for, you know, a decent runner of after you've practiced this for 9 weeks. Don't forget there's 9 weeks of practice
Yeah.
for this game.
9 weeks, plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Absolutely.
Man, a sub 10 Super Nintendo game? That's low. I mean, that's pretty low. Pretty fast.
It is.
Whoa. I call
Is
this
this level gonna end?
bungee jumping.
Yeah. Oh.
Maybe. No, it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going.
Keep going. This is it.
I like the spotlights coming. That's cool. That's a cool effect. The spotlights there.
It is. It is. All right, so there we go. That was Demolition Man beat the game calm with Wesley Snipes.
Tecmo. It's Ninja Gaiden
wow.
Trilogy. Wait.
Wait, what?
There's a Super Nintendo Ninja Gaiden game? No, there isn't.
Yeah, it has
There's 3.
Yeah, and it has trumpets and xylophones for music.
Trumpets and xylophones. That's ninja. Those are ninja instruments. I know you'll love this. And you're going to do all 3 Ninja Gaiden games, but just the first 3 acts. You're going to do Act 3 in each of the Ninja Gaiden games. So we haven't done a goal like this before, where we have like multiple things within the same game, but I think that it makes sense in this one, because what's the point? Like, why even do Ninja Gaiden games on the Super Nintendo? Like, if you're not going to just do all 3 of them, because that's the whole point. You have a cartridge with 3 games in it. We're going to make you play 3 games. So you're going to learn the first 3 acts of these Ninja Gaiden games. And what will happen is you'll switch over after the Act 3 boss. After you defeat the Act 3 boss, there'll be some time where your score is tallying up as your remaining time counts down. And then when that finishes, then the screen starts to fade to black. That's when you switch. You switch when you see the game start to fade to black.
Yeah, and so the good thing about the Ninja Gaiden Trilogy is that you can save this game, actually. So, you know, Ninja Gaiden 3 can be a little punishing and or hard, and you can just continue. Learning to go fast might be a little difficult at first, but it is not as daunting if you would have to play the USA version, say on the NES for Ninja Gaiden 3, because that just has 5 continues and that's it. But also, it's just Act 3, and it's not too difficult. You know, the game sort of like starts getting ramped up in difficulty, and you're done. So it should be fine.
Yeah, and if you're familiar with the NES version, it's probably going to feel quite a bit different. I mean, they do, like, the levels are technically the same levels, but, I mean, for the most part, but, to me, it just feels like a slightly different game, like the way it controls, but you may be able to use some insights from watching people's NES version speedruns, because there's probably going to be more of those than there are of the Super Nintendo version. But still, This is a fairly well played game. Like, you'll find examples of SNES version too.
Yeah.
And this will be... Actually, it ends up being rather an average length goal if you play it optimally, but I think this is one where people are going to end up losing a lot of time, because trying to do the optimal strats in this speedrun will be very hard.
Yeah. Or getting clobbered with the
Getting
hammer guys.
hammered, yeah. That's what happens with those guys.
And he gives up. But that makes sense.
That's
so
all right.
There you go. That was Ninja. Yeah, it's okay.
Next game, Halkin.
Next one.
Kirby's Dream Course.
Kirby.
It's Kirby.
I love Kirby. He's pink, he's round, and look at that smile.
I know this guy. Kirby. So, is this a golf game? What is this? It's unclear what this game is, but it's golf adjacent?
Yeah. Golf adjacent, kind of, you know, with Kirby power-ups level game. Pseudo 3D. Get the Kirby into a hole game.
Yeah, there you go.
What it is. So this game is really, really fun. Really good. We played it at ESA, I remember, in 2018, I think. Not so sure, but yeah, this game is just fun. I know a lot of people like it, and this is super classic. Just has to be on the list. This is a
Yep.
much loved game by many people.
Yeah, and it's very different. It's very different. Like, I'd say this is this deserves to be here just because it kind of shows off of like an interesting idea. Because of course there's plenty of golf games. There's actually tons of golf games for the Super Nintendo. Like, you would not believe. Like, you wouldn't have heard of half of these golf games. There's a lot of them, but this isn't really that. This is something entirely different, and it's it's cute. It's clever. It's got a lot of variety in for what you do. I don't know. I think people will enjoy. I think people will enjoy this game, and then I think once they start to really care about their PB times, then they're going to really hate it, because it's going to be lots of like, just grazing the edge of the hole and ruining your run. But
yeah,
I think you kind of go through a bit of a curve there as you're getting better at this.
Absolutely. Yeah, really good game, super fun, and the goal for this would be beat course 2.
Beat course 2.
Yes, and beat course 2 should take around 10 minutes or so, so it's a little shorter right at the end, to give you sort of a relaxing break for the final games that are after this.
That's right, yeah, we are getting down closer to the end here. We got just a couple more games left after Kirby, so this should be a nice little break.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I mean, it's still pretty intensive. It's not like you get any downtime in this, so I don't know if we'll call this a break.
Maybe not as much as I would maybe make this, that I made it sound, but for me it feels like, sort of like, I can wait and just look at the ball roll and not do anything kind of thing. There you shoot him up.
Whoa,
just
nice.
to make that gap.
Okay.
There it is.
All right, we're moving on. Reset. Next game. It's Konami, so that could be good.
Could be.
Konami.
Hopefully.
LucasArts. Oh, okay. Oh.
Good too.
Hold on. Metal Warriors? What?
Warriors.
What?
Warriors?
Metal Warriors? What? So yes, here we go. We have Metal Warriors. I think this game is kind of I mean, I don't know about underrated. I think it's underknown. Like, I don't know if, like, compared to other Konami games, I don't know if this game is something that people would have heard of. But obviously, it's a side-scrolling mech run and gun. So will certainly have some appeal to you if you liked, the SNES Contra. But this is a quite different game just because of the way you move, like these jetpacks and everything, controlling that. And you have quite a lot of control over the directions that you shoot in, more so than just like an 8-direction run and gun. And the fact these levels are fully two-dimensional, like you're moving, you're moving both dimensions as you explore these maps. Just kind of adds this element of exploration that I think just really makes this game a lot of fun.
Yeah. And graphically, it also is very cool. Like, for example, if you get damage, as you can see, he's not as bright anymore as he was. He's like, a little wear and tear down as the robot gets hit more and more times. Yeah. So you kind of know like what the health level is for that robot. And the cool thing is, if you don't want this robot anymore and you find another one, you just take that one. And every mech, every mech you basically take has its own power-ups, which you can use for certain stages to make things faster or different or more harder for yourself. To advance through the whole game, and that makes this game such a unique, very cool experience to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for people who haven't seen this before, I think they'll be glad that we put this in the list.
Yeah. So for this, when it comes to the goal, that would be beat mission 6. Did I say that correctly? Yes, I do. In this case, 6-3 would be the one to beat, and that should, like, the world record is around 10 to 11 minutes. So about 50 minutes, give or take. Unless you get really good at it, then it will be like 12 minutes, maybe 13.
Yeah, I think for the top runners, this will be about an average length goal for this race. How big you are compared to the little people.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, I see a mention of Cybernator. I also thought of that when I saw this game. It also definitely reminds me of that. But hey, that's a good thing.
Mission complete.
Mission complete. Just do that 5 more times.
Easy.
Easy peasy. That's easy. Enix. Okay. The quality level just jumped up tremendously here. It's an Enix game. You live in Japan? What does that say?
It's kanji. Kanji is muri desu.
Likely excuse. Okay.
It is. It's really hard. Mareduka. Oh, too fast. It just goes too fast. I can't read that fast. Where's my wife? Oh, she's sleeping.
Too bad. Well, I guess we will reveal what this is. It is Terranigma. Now this, of course, you won't be playing on the U version because this is a Japanese or PAL game. I believe it's okay to play the PAL version, but that's going to make it slower for you, right? I don't know how that works, unless people like play PAL at NTSC speeds, or if that's a thing that can be done. I'm not sure about that. Go ahead.
There's the translated patch, right, for the Japanese version.
So that's what I might recommend. I mean, if you're a hardcore speedrunner, just do it in Japanese. Just go ahead. But like, if you want to, it should be fine for you to get the English patch and just play the J version patched into English. Yeah. So I would. That might be the way to go. Particularly if you want to like enjoy your playthrough of it for the first time, like before you start, grinding out the speedrun route. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the goal for this, Fizo, would be
to beat Shadowkeeper. So this is going to be a rather long goal. I mean, as it is, that's what usually happens with our RPG game of the list, is that the RPG is longest. So this should be about, I think World Record Run has this done in just over 24 minutes. That's rather ambitious. Let's assume that the best players are going to be doing 25, 26, 27 minutes, we'll say, on this goal.
I think so too.
And it is tough to find. It's tough to find a goal for these RPGs because you need to give them enough space to really get into the game. And most RPGs that have any kind of decent story are going to take the first like 10 minutes of the playthrough to be able to, to tell the story and let you kind of like get used to your character and get used to moving around and doing stuff. But I'd say by contrast with other RPGs, this actually has quite a bit of speedrunnable content within the beginning of it. So I think that I think people will probably enjoy doing even just the short goal of this game.
Yeah. And yeah, what somebody said in the chat too, it's pretty. It's very nice looking. Very smooth. You can run really fast right from the start. Fighting mechanics are very nice. Yeah, it's a one of a kind. Well, not really one of a kind, but in its kind, it is a very good RPG.
Yeah, this is like as has been said there in chat. This is one of the best. Yeah, this is one of the best RPGs. So yeah, if you somehow missed this, I mean, for good reason, it didn't get a North American release, but if you somehow missed this, like, absolutely worth it.
Yeah. And I think Ray will be very happy because I remember him saying in the Discord, I hope for X2 and Terranigma, but probably not going to happen. Here it is.
Yeah, I will say the emulation has gotten a lot better with emulating the FX chip, and I believe most good flash carts these days will emulate will do the FX stuff just fine.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more game to go in this list.
Yeah.
What's it going to be? We put the RPG second last, and we usually end on a full game run, don't we?
What do you guys think? What would it be?
What's a full game of something? Full game of something. What is this last game? What is the last game on the list? What could it be?
There's also Space Ace Cassis.
Space Ace. It's Konami. Okay, it's Konami. All right.
It still is Konami.
Sorry. Not too excited. Oh, I think I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Dracula X. Look at that blood.
That's good blood.
Pretty cool. Shiny blood.
Yeah, it is correct. It is Castlevania Dracula X. And then we have beat the game, and the bad ending is what I would recommend, which is also what the goal would be. You can also do the best ending, but that will cost more time, so bad ending is fine.
Yeah, bad ending's what we're going for here. This is, I think this is, start practicing this one soon.
Yes. No. Yeah, the bad ending is basically the catacomb skip. Is all it is, really. That gives the bad ending. That's what we're aiming for. And yeah, this is the North American equivalent of the, was it the TurboGrafx 16 version? I'm not so sure.
I don't know the history of this, actually. I don't really know. This one, I missed this game when I was a kid, and I only played it like much later in life, so I actually don't really know much about this at all. I was just, except that I played this after having played, most of the other Castlevanias of this style, and so it was kind of a weird throwback for me, a weird step back, I guess.
Yeah, but it's good, and I think Lucha Jim speedrun this. I think he even did a run at the ESA as well that I saw. Yeah,
there's been a bunch of good runs of this in marathons that you can look if you're trying to look for some like more marathon safe strats rather than just like the bleeding edge stuff that people are doing for leaderboard work. There's plenty of options available for things to watch of this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, this game I really like it. I mean, it's a little bit different. It's a little weird kind of Castlevania, but it is PC Engine TurboGrafx 16 based off of this one. But I still think it's very well done. The final boss was it Satan in the Speedos or something? His underwear on some risky platforms. But other than that, it's a really solid game.
So there you go. This is the list. This is the Super 16. I'm going to post it. I'm actually going to do it literally right now. I'm live updating our website. And so there you go. If you go to speedgaming.org/super16, all the games and goals should be up. We will very soon have timing endpoints for you. Super 16. There. Oh, I'm in the wrong chat. Oh my gosh. Super 16. There's the link. So go to that, and you can get the games and the goals. And of course, join our Discord, talk with the other players. If you have any information that you think would be helpful to help people learn, post it, and we will link it in the resources channel, so people can have the resources for all these games in one place. Right now, just pay attention to the game list. Just check back every now and then. We will announce if we make any kind of change, but basically any changes to the rules or clarifications to people's questions about the game, we will post that on this webpage, as well as writing or mentioning it in the Discord. And yeah, pretty soon we'll have some timing endpoints, like some specific timing endpoints for you, probably within the next couple of days. Just stuff like, timing starts at the titles when pressing start at the title screen and ends when the screen starts to fade out after boss number 2 or whatever it is. Whatever it'll be something like that. And then if you have questions about like what codes are allowed, we do sometimes allow like continue codes and extra lives codes for that to be done, but we do need to approve those just to make sure they're not having other side effects that we don't want. So you want to, look into that. And yeah, there we go. And thank you very much to our player, Ugariel, for playing through these games for us. Takes a lot of courage to just get up there and play 16 games in front of people that you really haven't practiced, so you're just kind of winging it. I appreciate that. And for also helping us to put together the list. The 3 names you see at the bottom of the screen there made this list and made the goals and went through all that. So thank you to you two for helping with that.
No problem, anytime.
Okay, and that's it. Get out there. You have 9 weeks until June 24th at noon Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central European Time. That's when the race happens. Remember, join it that race that day at racetime.gg. Sometime like an hour before noon, the race room will open. Everyone can gather in there. We will be streaming it to twitch.tv/speedgaming. We will need commentators. If people want to join me on the mic commentating for the race, that would be super helpful. People want to help commentate. And yeah, tell everyone. Spread the word. Send them to speedgaming.org/super16. Send them to that page to see the list. Get people into it. Start learning the games. Share your knowledge. Yeah, have fun. Race number 7 coming your way.
I look forward to it.
Okay.
Great list. And thank you as well, Fisa, for putting everything together as well, making this happen again on the channel where it's meant to be. And for all the runners that are gonna participate and or the people that want to practice or play the games, have fun, good luck, and see you the 24th of June for the race.
All right, that's it, everybody. See you later. Good luck.
Thank you.